Hey guys!
Hi, morning.
How's everybody doing
Scoot in a
today?
little.
We are a little dark. There we go. Isaac's making us bright and shiny on this Friday morning. Hopefully everybody's doing good. I know more rain has cometh down.
Yeah.
We don't need any more rain.
We're
We've
getting
been.
more though.
I know. Like they were starting to
forever.
let the dams loose. At Table Rock, I saw an article that they were going to start doing some flood releasing. Yeah, it's a lot. We've had plenty of rain.
I'm just worried we're getting all our summer rain right now. And it's going to be a bad year for hay, which is a bad year for beef, and a bad year for leather. But we'll see.
Oh, how it trickles.
Yep.
Well, we've got our guitar straps back in here, and Luna being very needy today. And we are going to be doing some antiquing. And then Denny's going to line and sew his on our lovely, lovely Class 26. So, hope everybody is ready for some leather magic.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Linz, I got to work. No, I
Linz, it's
know.
not your show.
It can't be.
It's not your show. I know you think that it is. Okay,
Down
come
you
on.
get, bud. There you
And
go.
I'm going to try vintage gel again.
Yeah, going back to it?
Well, I'm going to try it again.
Yeah.
What have I got to
See
lose?
what happens.
What have I got to lose?
There was,
I've got a good resist on.
what, it was probably a year ago, he asked me about the paste and he started using it.
Uh-huh.
So I went for a different sealer on mine today.
I forgot to bring any daubers.
Oh.
I've got 2 pieces of sheepskin.
I've got one dauber.
I'll
But,
just use it.
Denny used the RTC, which is kind of me and him, and that's our go-to sealer, right? Used RTC.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used Tan Coat on mine, which I did not know would work as a sealer for antiquing, but it does work really, really well. And the thing I like about it is that it is also made to thin antique paste. So when you use it as a top coat, it also strips off that top layer of antique that's just stuck in the grain texture. So that general haze you get is way reduced when using Tan Coat as a top coat and sealer.
So you've been having some experimenting.
Oh yeah.
Doing some experimenting.
Yep.
Well, I found that most wipe-on top coats will wash your
Yeah,
antique.
cleaned it a bit. But yeah, this stuff I've noticed it doesn't pull it out of my cracks and crevices. And I've also started
This is
using
the one time you want to have dirty cracks, guys. The one time.
I got nothing.
You said cracks, and just something was gonna.
Tony's not even over there.
I don't need him. For
Wow.
Say, believe it or not, it's usually Liz.
Someone want to take a clip of that? Liz just saying, I don't need Tony.
I don't need him.
He
He
only
encourages
disappoints
it,
me.
but
I've also started using a little brush from my antique.
I see that.
Because it just gets it way down in all my cracks and crevices.
Mm-hmm.
But also doesn't take me forever to smear it around by hand. You'd think it took longer, but boy, it doesn't.
Like you could even get a bigger, like the
It's a house brush.
yeah. That's what I was
Just-
getting. It looks like the ones that I use for my stenciling.
Yeah. This is just one of our little cheapo wooden glue brushes.
Nice. Where do I go, George?
I do it every time. I do not have camera brain. But it also saves a lot on the cleanup end. So this step might take me a touch longer than just smear it around with my hand. But when I go to wipe off the excess, it's much faster. And then the brushes just wash out with soapy water.
Well, Denny, that don't look too bad.
Doesn't look too
Did
bad.
you talk about this lovely surface that we're using?
Oh, not yet. So, yeah, Liz had laid out some paper in here for us. I was like, oh, I already brought in my antiquing mat. It was just an old split.
Yeah.
Because I love that when you get antique on your split like that, it doesn't
Doesn't
smear
transfer
back
to the
off
back.
like it does on the paper.
Yeah.
It tends
I'd
to
never
soak
thought of
in.
that.
I know. That's why I was like, that's a great use for a split. So you guys, we sell these for $25 a side.
Yep.
You know, when you're placing an order for some sides of leather, throw one of these into your order or a couple, and then use it for mats, use it for linings,
Or
use it
if you're
for.
ordering a side and having it split down, just say, hey, throw the split in the box. If they get a big split, they'll chuck it in there for you. Or whatever they get, they'll chuck in for you. We get that request a lot in the shop.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone will buy a buffalo side or something and want it split down to 5/6, so
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, hey, put the split in too. As always, remember to go all over your piece with your antique, even where you don't have any texture.
Well, I'm more than satisfied with the gel. Worked good.
I was gonna say that
Back
looks
to your
great,
old
Denny.
ways. Yeah, it does.
You got a picture-in-picture there, Isaac, like we did the other day? Okay.
His looks prettier right now.
What color did you use, Denny?
This is light brown.
Light brown, vintage gel
Yes. With a light
from
coat
the
of oil.
Fivings.
I went a light coat of, well, some people consider what I do not a light coat of oil, but I went over it good, made sure everything was oiled, but I
Yep.
didn't saturate it at all.
Yeah.
Right. I went,
Listen. Oh, go
Let
ahead.
that set for a while and then put a good solid coat of RTC on it.
yeah, I
Denny,
did.
have you been spraying your RTC?
No,
No.
I'm good.
No.
No.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd put it in one of those aerosol thingies.
No, I haven't been.
I've airbrushed it a couple times. It works.
Yeah.
It works well. I've just found, like, especially if I'm trying to use it as a top coat, because that's why I put it in the airbrush,
Yeah.
is to top coat my antique. It still just made it run like the dickens. So there was no happiness with that result. And I know a lot of people say don't scrub, go one direction, just wipe it off. I've never had problems scrubbing.
I scrub.
I scrub.
Denny scrub.
I'm a scrub.
Well, the deal is you aren't trying to. A lot of people would use a piece of sheepskin and actually scrub it, and then you're digging all the antique out of the
Yeah.
spots where you want it to stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like at the point, if I'm getting the last little bit, then like with the shearling, you kind of like touch it up, but you don't want to go crazy with the shearling.
Yeah,
Like Denny's about to do.
I don't know if you can get a shot of this, but there are little puddles in all these deep impressions. So I'm going to go over it with a piece of sheepskin just one time, and it gets rid of those puddles. Mm-hmm. But if you keep going over it and over it and over it,
You won't have any antique left.
yeah, you won't have any of your
You'll
desired
de-antique.
effect left.
You'll undo all the work you just did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just scrubbing with my shearling, but I had no pressure on it. It was just the weight of the wool pad doing the work.
What?
I would like to.
Oh, the split screen.
And then I always like to do my edges as well while I'm here.
Do we still have a
Oh yeah. What are you looking for?
hair dryer?
Yeah, it's in the.
Because I would like to dry my antique a little bit before I start to.
So,
You wanna go back to the other one? Brian's getting his edges with the antique. Because the back is still taped from the tooling. So you can get in there, get a good color on your edge, and then when you take the tape off, it's done.
yep.
I'm going to make a little noise here.
See what you...
You know, I was thinking, we were talking about what we were going to do with these, and this morning I was thinking about the International Federation Guild show that's coming up. Yeah, the iFogel.
iFogel. Yeah.
That's coming up here in October, and I was like, these could be really great raffle items for us to submit to the Leather Guild to support them a little bit. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So if anybody out there is interested and gonna go to the IFOLG show, I think we're gonna send these out to be raffled off for the guild.
Sounds good.
I made an executive decision this morning about that.
And it sounds like you got finished right now.
I'm pulling a Tony. I'm feeling very Tony-esque. You know what, but Andy, I am salty today.
But Andy.
I'm gonna steal that shaker when we're done here. I've gotten some rest over the last few days, which has been nice. I'm like feeling a little less travel worn.
A little less road weary.
Yeah, I mean, like a 3-day show. You're standing there talking to people. Thank you, sir. My salt today. At some point, no offense to all y'all, but like I don't want to talk to anybody anymore.
We were just discussing before the video started how me and Liz both have a tendency to wake up really early on our days off because that's the time you get to yourself.
You just get to be quiet.
Because nobody's going to need anything from you at like 6 on a Saturday.
No.
No one's calling me. No one's hitting me up.
No, I just sit there. I can sit there with my dogs and just chill. Like,
have some coffee,
have some
stare out the window.
yeah. Watch my wildlife in my front yard.
Dream about
of
befriending a
wildlife,
crow.
Yeah.
You guys a while ago were talking about all the wildlife you'd seen, like your magpies and like that.
Mhm.
And I forgot to tell you when we were at the Badlands
On the way or on the way back?
on the way back.
Okay.
Because we spent 3 days there on the
Yep.
way back, and there's the Badlands National Park, which is a national park.
Noted.
But the Badlands are more than just the national park. They
Sure.
go on for a long ways. But right outside of the park and all around the park is what they call the Buffalo Gap National Grasslands,
Okay.
which has buffalo. And these are not contained. These are wild buffalo. I mean, when you visualize like 100 years ago, the buffalo out on the plains, you know, in herds, that's what they were doing.
That's cool.
I mean, you'd see, and there's like several 100,000 acres of this,
Oh, wow.
this grassland, and they're just roaming at will. And you'll look out across the prairie, and you'll see a few buffalo way up on a hill over there, and then you'll go by some that are right there by you on the road, you know. But there's also all sorts of prairie dog towns there,
Oh, how fun.
and prairie dogs are really cute little critters.
Yeah, huh?
But
Mary June said you got to kind of try to sneak up on them, otherwise they run back underground.
oh yeah, they do.
I can
but
just
they're
picture her
also
sneaking up on a prairie dog.
they're also really protected, and they're right there by the road.
Uh-huh.
You can also see way off in the distance all these little mounds. You know, you think how many million of these little critters are there?
Pop out and
And
bark
there's
at you.
probably
A couple of them.
1,000 million. No, but
They're probably
there's-
the main source of protein for the rest of the wildlife.
Oh yeah, rattlesnakes supposedly are pretty hard on them.
Really?
Oh,
And
wow.
coyotes.
That's crazy. Coyotes
But-
expect.
But there are these little burrowing owls,
I know.
and we saw those. They're like this big with a head this big around. They're really cute.
I think those are super
They're
protected.
Little
right?
long legs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're neat. They'll hop around. They also fly, you know. But every once in a while you'll see a pair of those because they kind of run in pairs. You don't see, if you see one, there's another one there somewhere close.
Yeah. That's cool.
Okay, so Wyoming is estimated to have 2,500 active black-tailed prairie dog colonies. 18 of the colonies are larger than 1,000 acres each.
Yeah.
That's a huge colony.
That's a city.
So they just break it down by how many prairie dog holes they
That's
find.
a
They don't know.
prairie dog nation.
Yeah,
It's
funny.
that much acreage.
Nation of prairie dogs. Wyoming is the home of prairie dogs, apparently.
Wyoming is
Diamond says
It's
we'll
gorgeous.
send you all the prairie dogs we
Well,
find.
these
You can
were
have
in
them.
South Dakota though,
Okay, yeah. As they move.
Nice,
they
Dean.
move.
Good job.
and we
Great deal
also
spotting that turkey. That's
we
always
also
nice.
saw bighorn sheep. There's bighorn sheep there in the Badlands.
Do you need to blow it off a little bit?
No, I think we're good. It's a little wet still, but I think that's all right. And if I'm wrong, well, we'll find out. And I'll do it again before the raffle. I've been there before. Yeah, I tried.
Okay. You're like, I already picked at that
Yeah,
string.
it's like it ain't. it's not a right now problem.
It smells like glue in here.
Does it?
This is strong.
Oh yeah, so when I'm using this as a sealer doing that first coat, what I like to do is swipe it on there just nice and heavy like I'm doing, but then blow off the excess with a air compressor. So you get a really thin coat of the sealer on there.
Do you like put it over a trash can and then blow it off?
Just some shiny spots on the floor.
Okay. I mean, that tracks.
He just blows it off into the world.
I just go stand right behind Denny and spray it
I've
all
got
over
the
him.
only arrows.
Yeah.
He says this is payback for years of quick shine, hazing.
Then I just go really fast with a piece of shearling to get that excess off of there. Because that tan coat soaks in, I mean, quick.
All right, so you got a layer of tan coat first.
Yes.
And how long did you let that sit?
Until it's dry.
Okay, so did you do it this morning or like last night?
This morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I hit it with a hairdryer. So, yeah, your tan coat's your sealer. Yeah, I'm gonna paper towel. Tan coat's your sealer, and let it dry fully. Works great as a sealer, as you can see. And then, once you're done antiquing, hit it with another layer of tan coat and swipe it off pretty fast. And yeah, you get a really clean, pretty high contrast antique result.
Gosh, that looks pretty good.
I really love using tan coat for that.
And when that actually dries and sets, it won't be so shiny, so glossy.
It's gonna stay pretty satin
Yeah.
when it's done. I really love the finish that tan coat gives it too.
Where's your strap?
Oh, hey, yeah.
No, you can cook
Yeah.
that later.
You can use mine.
There we go.
It's probably a different color, but
Yep.
I didn't bring a punch in to punch mine after I laced it, so.
Yeah, I fear I'll either just hang tight and talk while I burnish is kind of what I plan on doing. Oh yeah, and I used the medium brown finish
Tan coat.
paste
Yeah, Shelley from Arkansas was in yesterday,
tan coat.
and she was asking me all about antique, and I told her to watch the show today.
Perfect.
Well, and I think next week we also have an all about antique.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be
Before we
another
start
good
your
one.
your
Yeah.
gun belt. So we can what we'll probably do is we'll bring in all the finishes, all the different things. We'll have some pre-applied, and maybe we'll just run some of our embossed belt strips through,
Yeah.
and then do an array of antique options so that you guys can see how they all turn
Yeah.
out.
You don't want just me and Danny to tool up 60 trading cards?
I don't feel
So
like
we
it's
can-
necessary.
What I wanted to tell Shelley
Mm-hmm.
was one of the main things that gives you a lot of definition in an antique article is you have to tool fairly deep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your impressions have to be deep enough to catch antique.
Yep.
So,
And use textured tools.
yeah, use textured tools because all those little check marks will collect that antique and
Yep.
give you some shading.
That's why I do that big beveler, my shallow textured beveler on the outside of my artwork, so it gives it that heavy halo of antique and really floats it up off your surface.
Yep.
Especially if you texture that back.
Couple of question for adhesives. I bought the glue holder. It broke down. Was it the glue I was using and the thinner? I used Barge and its thinners. Barge and Masters, like the chemical property, are probably going to be pretty similar. Like they're
so.
both solvent based dyes. So like we always recommend, if you have Barge, use Barge thinner. If you have Masters, use Master thinner because they've formulated their adhesive and thinner to work well together.
Yeah.
But I don't think the formulas are going to be. I mean, Denny uses Masters in his what?
How old is that glue pot?
It broke down. What do you mean? What happened to your glue pot? I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's one drawback to these glue pots. They're great, other than if you drop them or have a pretty good impact
Yeah.
on them, they
Shatters.
will crack.
Well,
you
I'm
know?
just wondering if something happened that maybe it came apart on you. Because really, it shouldn't matter if you're like Denny puts
Yeah.
Masters in his, but you should be able to use Barge just the same, and it really shouldn't make that much of a difference.
I'm gonna trim this before.
Why
I
don't
stitch
people
this.
use Pro Resist? I'm sure some people do.
Yeah, lots of folks use it, Dean. I've tried it once or twice. I just found it to be really sticky, and most of my decisions on what products I do and don't use are based on minor annoyances while I'm using them.
It's just everybody's preference.
Yep. Yeah, I might have made a booger there.
Okay.
You
No,
got
you
it.
didn't. It was just
Look at you.
a hair. How long had you been using the container? Hello, Skull Valley and Rock Lobster.
Rock lobster.
So Denny, I've seen
Edward?
folks when they're doing trimming like this, thin liner off a thick project, they'll use like their number 4 or 5 bevel or whatever they do their corners with, and cut that lining at the same time.
That will work, but I've got a really close stitch line on.
Right? Yeah, you don't have room for a big
Hey,
bevel.
Denny. Is that your new knife?
Yes. Oh no, this isn't
I was
my
like,
new
no, that's
one.
not your new one?
That's an old one.
No, I haven't received it yet. I hope he remembers I wanted it.
He had it written down. Scott, or Sean, if you're watching, Denny's waiting.
Denny tried to get me a new knife while he was out there, but the folks I was looking for weren't out.
Yeah, I was looking for a swivel knife for you.
Yep.
Who are you looking at?
Little smoothie.
Uh,
Yeah.
Smith.
I figure if I'm gonna get one, it's kinda now or never.
Yeah.
But because I've borrowed Denny's a couple times, and that is so comfy to use.
Less than a year. Maybe it was cracked and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Well, I've used this one for a couple of years, but I had another one that I did drop one time and it cracked it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that till glue was everywhere.
If you can find any spots on that pot where it looks like something's gone wrong with it, like it just looks weird or looks like some of the plastic it might be failing, take some pictures. Send them over to me. It's just Ryan at Springfield Leather. And I'll get to looking at it and see what I can find out.
Yeah, and if you've had it less than, it could be a faulty pot, and we'll get you a new one. Shoot us an email if you got it from us, and we'll see if we can help.
We'll figure out how to solve the mystery as best we can and do what we can to make everything right in the end.
Frank is working on a lady's clutch.
Nice. It's
Here
always
I
fun.
go.
Woo! Yeah, I came in this morning. My wife said she's wanting to start helping do some of the burnishing and running my online stuff. So I came in this morning, clicked out 20 wallets worth.
Look at you go.
So it was a fun morning. I'm ready to go home and sew. Yeah, I'm just waiting on my tan coat to dry. It's pretty quick, so I'm not going to mess with making the racket of a hair dryer. If your burnishing won't take me 45 minutes, so we got time. So Liz, why haven't you finished tooling your pick guard?
I haven't been here in a while.
The video I didn't get to be in, I was so excited about.
I know.
I was so bummed.
It is coming along pretty good.
It looks good. Yeah, we did that pick guard video a while back, and I had been very excited about it, because I asked Liz how many, free little tooling patterns they wanted, and she said, as many as you want to make.
Yeah.
So I ended up making 6 of them. And I had all these tooled things, then called in. What you gonna do?
Just life. Good old life.
Yep.
Always getting in the way of fun. Oh, that's dark, Justin.
I'm working on it. You turn the light.
We're moody.
Oh, you want? I'll
No,
turn
you're
it
fine.
back
No,
on.
you're fine. You're fine. I got it.
Justin can make it bright.
Ooh.
It was just glaring at
Justin,
me.
that reminds me of that, was it you or Isaac, that we were working together and got just a perfect shot on a sewing machine on accident?
That was Isaac. If it was on, if it was on purpose, it was me. But if it was on accident,
I'll say it just happened to be the way the light was coming through those front windows where R&D used to be.
yeah, he had a good flare, or a good
Little lens flare going.
lens flare on it.
And it was like very similar lighting.
So if you guys are interested in these tooling patterns and you didn't join us on Wednesday, the tooling patterns are on the video from Wednesday. So just the last live that we did. And then here, probably in the next couple of weeks, Tony will get them up on the website so that they'll be downloadable from the website on our free pattern pages. Bye, Dean.
Yeah, these patterns are fun. Denny's looks like a blast. I'd love to steal that and do it sometime.
What did I do?
Your tooling pattern, I just enjoy it.
He enjoyed tracing it out.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about getting to digitize these patterns is I have gotten very familiar with Denny's tooling style. Because
You're like, I could plagiarize this all day long.
well, not even that. I just have learned like it's funny now when me and him will talk about patterns we're working on and get ideas from each other and stuff, or little notes. His stuff, I would never end up drawing it that way, just because when I draw, I want to draw as few little stickers as possible. So I do a lot of these big, like more engraving style, big folded leaves to eat up as much space as possible.
Diamond. We don't really have any great upholstery. We've got some small upholstery things, like the seat that, I think the seats that maybe we're sitting on, we've done, but not a cushion like that. If you've got a furniture store in your town that does repairs, they might
Yeah.
have a foam recommendation.
Probably find a YouTube video out there somewhere.
Yeah, somebody doing some upholstery. Really like piping, probably piping, which is not very hard. Piping is pretty easy. And then just thickness. I know Joann's down here has some upholstery foams.
Yeah. Any good fabric store is gonna have
Walmart
upholstery
sells
foam.
foam too.
Yeah. We used to we used to have the Army surplus store.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
foam.
Huge
They had
rolls of
huge-
like 4-inch foam.
Yeah, so if you got an Army surplus anywhere around you, they might have some good options. I was pretty bummed when ours closed.
Yeah.
It was just, I didn't go in there very often, but it was just always fun to creep around because it was the randomest crap that you would
Is
ever
it-
find in there.
Is it still one of those like 3-wheel motorcycle car dealers?
Yeah.
You know, silly things.
You know. Ours just closed. Bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, Wawak is a great place to pick up anything that is going towards a sewing related project. Machine needles and stuff. They have a crazy variety. So if you've got some weird old sewing machine, I bet they've got the needle for it.
I don't know if there's any Joann's. I know ours used to, when it was
Yeah.
open, it had the foam. I guess I forgot that they all closed.
Yeah, well they recently got bought out.
Yay,
just the
private
other day.
equity.
Yeah. They just got bought out the other day, so their stock is getting absorbed. So I guess any of the Joann's stuff that was like hitting above its weight, like some of their yarns and stuff, their like store brand yarns were really nice. Those will be coming back under the new company name. So
Oh, really?
That's nice. Yeah, I think they were able to pick up some of their production.
There's a video by Cellrite where they make a cushion.
Oh,
Nice.
Sailrite does have good
Yeah,
videos.
Sailrite's
It's
got a
not
lot.
leather. It's fake leather.
Sure, vinyl,
But
yeah.
Yeah.
You can use leather to do it, but it looks like it's pretty in depth, and they go from the start to finish.
All right, Diamond.
There you go.
Sailrite video.
Sailrite.
Look up Sailrite on YouTube.
I'll link it for 'em.
Okay.
I'm gonna go sand these edges.
You're okay.
I'll be back. You got
Wait,
continue.
I think Ryan's pretty much done.
I'm just gonna bevel, or not bevel, I'm just gonna burnish it. And then what I'm gonna do, probably off camera, but I might start the process here, is lace it. I'm gonna lace the
Oh, are ya?
whole thing. Because I don't wanna, whoops.
Yep.
I don't wanna line it just because it didn't feel like it. But lacing will help give it a nice edge and, oh, thanks Liz.
Yeah.
Also help prevent that stretch a little bit.
This is Denny's adjustment strap.
I love that center stamp.
Yeah,
That's
it's a pretty good one.
hard to find.
No?
Oh, it just wants
I'm
to look
back.
at mine. Yeah, and that camouflager too.
He loves that one. That's been his go-to recently. This
You see JV's question on YouTube.
I'll get it.
26, and occasionally you pull the knot to the top every now and again down the length of the stitch. Any clue?
Occasional problems are hard to diagnose.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is maybe your needle is slightly oversized. So the hole that it's sewing with is able to pull too much stuff up with us.
Or maybe could the thread be a little too small?
Right, yeah, either the needle or the thread are the wrong size for what's being made hole-wise. and it's able to pull that knot up on occasion. That'd be my best first guess. Thanks, Diamonds. I'm really happy with it.
Here.
Let's see. So one thing I will note on pretty much any tooling pattern that I have done that we've put out is you're gonna see a lot of these. Whoop, back towards me. A lot of these like big folded leaves, and down in them, get in there with your swivel knife and do some like cross hatching cuts, and it really adds a lot of depth and movement to that leaf. So it's a lot of fun little tip on my weird tooling patterns. Yeah, and I also oiled mine pretty heavily, so a lot of this color is going to even out.
Don't look at my dark spot, guy.
Well, there we go. We'll just casually. No, I'm pleased with this thing. I think it was a fun design. It
looks good.
Like my third one I drew up for this.
Oh, did you put your initials anywhere?
Oh no, I usually do.
You
Usually
wanna cut them in?
hide them. It's fine. It's already sealed.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, JB, if you want to let us know like what needle and thread size.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
like
say,
what thickness of material.
If
I
you
can
wanted
help.
to like maybe make some notes of when it's happening, what you've got going on while it happens, you can call in, get on the phone with between Ryan, Andy, or Jim, and kind of talk through. Maybe send like a detailed like email of like, hey, this is what I've been dealing with. This is the mechanisms that I've been doing and working with.
Questions like that are really good. Andy at Springfield Leather. I can use a sewing machine, but Andy actually knows stuff about them.
He likes to work on them. I don't know if he likes it, but he works on them. Does he like it?
Andy likes to work on
Okay.
things, period.
I know. He needs to come to my house and work on my bell knife skiver, but
He'd like it.
I know. He always asks me, he's like, Liz, how's it going? And I'm like, it's still just a cool table.
As direct as always.
It's really heavy. It's just a really heavy table. Hi, Chevy.
Hey, Chevy.
Did you get her all sanded, Denny?
I got it sanded. I'm beveling in the edge now.
What are you gonna do for the next half hour, Denny?
I forgot to punch my slots.
Better punch them slow.
You know what? Sometimes
Well, I
it's
got a
okay
burnish.
to have a short one.
Yep. I'm debating whether I'm gonna burnish or lace, because if I lace it, there's no need to burnish.
Oh, yeah.
I still do like slapping the antique on the edge if I lace it. Then if my lace job is not as perfect as it ought to be, you'll never know. So back when I did mini painting, I learned that you prime it with black. So if you miss any of the little details or undersides of stuff, looks like a shadow. Call it good.
Just blend it right in.
Yep. Scratch all? Yeah. Forgot mine. So weird, I was looking for the flat spot on the handle. Because my scratch all I've sanded, well, most of my tools, I've sanded a flat spot on one side, so when I set it down, it doesn't roll away.
Yeah. No, I got rolly tools.
Yep. Did I tell you that I realized I can start making some of my own leather knives the other day?
Hey.
So I've been wanting to play around with more knife making, because I've done some in the past.
Hold on. What size is the slot, Denny? Is it a 1 inch?
I believe it's 1 inch, yes.
Okay.
1
I'll
inch
get
or
you
inch
a
and a quarter,
thing.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
get
1
both.
inch.
Yes, what does the shape of Ryan's strap do?
I don't know, to be totally honest. As best I can tell, because I've not like put it on with a guitar, but just looking at how it kind of hangs when I've checked to see which direction my tooling
Use
pattern.
your sticker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It seems like it just cuts out a little bit of the strap going up around your neck. Just gets that strap further out on your shoulder where it crosses over. But I don't play a ton of music anymore, and I generally play an upright bass, so straps have never been a huge part of my music equipment. I don't want to carry that thing more than from the car to the stage.
Right.
There's one thing me and my wife were talking about, getting a new little car of some sort, just so we can get rid of one of ours and share one. And she was looking at all these little cars. I was like, well, it's got to be just big enough to hold my upright. Because that still needs to happen.
Make one that the seats lay down pretty well in the back.
Yeah, right now I've just got my little hatchback that I can knock the back row down.
That's what I love about the hatchback.
Yeah. Yeah, when I got mine, I just went to a dealer and said, hey, I need a used stick shift hatchback. What do you got?
You got a stick shift?
Yeah, yep.
Cool.
Maintenance is a lot cheaper. Something goes wrong with your stick transmission, you can replace parts of it, not necessarily the entire dang thing. My previous car's one of those belt transmissions, and I got the trade-in on that right before it went out. So, pretty happy there. Yeah, you can tell that strap's got a flanky spot.
He's fluffy. Right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it gets a little further out on your shoulder there. You guys can't see it, but Liz is trying on the guitar strap.
Chevy was like, what does the curvy do?
Yeah.
And we have guitars here.
So it kicks it back out towards the guitar in front of you, and
It's
that's
actually,
it.
that's very comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
just right off the bat.
Yeah.
You don't have to put your own curve in. You know when you all take off your belt and there's a nice curve in the back that you've been curating for a while? This is pre-curved.
Yep.
Pre-curved.
For your convenience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's nice. You know what this would also be good as?
Giant purse strap.
A giant purse strap.
Yep. Has that been a thing? I heard someone mention it the other day.
I mean, I've been seeing, I don't know. I don't know about guitar straps specifically, but
Yeah.
women's purse straps have been getting wider over the last few years. And you'll see some pretty hefty straps like when I'm at
2-inch
Farm Fest or
straps and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. This might be a little bit big, but
Yeah,
frankly,
a little over
I think
3 inches
somebody
here,
would probably wear it. The only thing is that I feel like it would almost need to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or like maybe we have that extra long adjustment strap. So maybe using the extra long adjustment strap.
I'd probably change the straps quite a lot.
Body shaped purse and put a guitar strap on it.
I know, that's what I'm thinking about just now.
You knock yourself out with that idea. It sounds cool, but not fun.
They want tooled belt patterns on 1.5 width.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still have been seeing and enjoying that it's still a trend of the oversized hardware on a bag. Just because I really like doing it. I think it looks fantastic, so I'm glad other people are also into it right now. But oh yeah, knives.
Denny,
So-
that came out good.
It did.
Not too bad.
That stitch even came out good.
Even your stitching.
Even
Denny.
the stitch. I don't think sewing machines love Denny. I think that's why he laces so much. What do you say, Denny?
I agree.
I don't have as much of a personal relationship with that sewing machine, so that's why I'm not sewing. Because no sewing machine I've ever used works better than the one I've got at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, the knives. So I used to do glass work, so I had a kiln to anneal my glass in. I was like, oh, I can throw files in a kiln to anneal them to start making my own like little skiving knives and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a fun little hobby I pick up in addition to my 1,000 other hobbies.
Yeah.
That's all
That's
I
the
need.
problem of being a crafty person.
Yeah. I just want to do stuff all the time.
Yeah, you're like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And then you don't really stop and consider if you should do that.
Right. I have.
A bunch of money and
Yep.
do it for a little bit and you're like, okay, next.
Oh, usually it sticks with me, but then I just have to rotate them through.
That's how mine works. It's like a set of like 8 hobbies that you do.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that diamond. She's been mounting. I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
Trophy
cool.
buckles for the strap adjustment.
Yeah,
So that-
I saw that. That's
Because your
cool.
rodeo people, they got lots of buckles. We saw that buckle display thing a while ago. That was pretty cool. Gotta show off them buckles.
I don't know why I thought antiquing would take me longer. Sometimes I'm bad at estimating.
Sometimes things go smoothly and sometimes they don't. So you never know.
Right.
You're like, I thought this was gonna take 10 minutes, and then 2 hours later you're still there.
This is something else I can point out though, is like the tooling turned out fine across the thing, but part of why it's darker right here, you can tell if I pick it up, it just flops.
the
like
soft part of
pretty
the leather.
consistently right there. There's almost like a corner when you bend it. So that's a flanky little soft spot. It doesn't mess with your tooling much, because tooling doesn't really care. But it's going to mess with your antique and your sealer, and the consistency will be floppier in one spot. Still just
But it's kind of the perfect spot because that's the spot that goes over the shoulder.
Yeah.
right, that's why I wasn't mad about it.
You're
That
just using glycerin
came out
on
well.
that.
Yeah, he's got the solid bar saddle soap.
Yeah.
Bye, Chef.
Glycerin saddle soap.
I thought Chevy said I've got to make a banana split. I was like, that's not a bad way to kick off your lunch. So I've been playing around, Denny. I put some of the liquid saddle soap, the liquid glycerin soap, in my spray bottle for tooling. It's not bad. I don't think it does a ton, but it sure makes it smell nice while you're tooling. And I think it does help, especially when I was slicking the leather, I noticed it helps make that process go a lot faster.
Nice.
So I think that...
Well, most people use it to help with their swivel knife cuts, you know, and especially if you're using a leather that's not real acceptable.
A little grippy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've noticed that if I'm tooling like a import or something like that, where it feels kind of sandy under the knife, the saddle soap or Be Natural, the company that makes the RTC, they've got one as well. I think it's Procarve or something like that. I like that one too. You just put a little capful or two in your spray bottle and lasts you.
Well, and
Put her through the holes.
I
He
got
hasn't punched the holes yet.
Oh, right.
You got him punches, no mallet.
No mallet.
Shoot, my brain just left the room without me.
It pieced out.
You know that feeling. We've all been there.
Let's hear it. Kennedy just said that I believe crafting and the arts are a different interest than acquiring materials and tools for crafting. How many
Yes.
rolls of leather do I have? And yet I buy more because I don't have that leather. Yeah, we're all just secret hoarders.
We just have an excuse.
We tell ourselves we have an excuse.
Yeah, I tell lots of people that. Yeah, I think it's always fun to, just grab the new thing I want to play with, But it's not always feasible. And I also trick myself into the trap of, like, I could probably make that tool, like making some skiving knives. Is it going to save me time and money to make my own, like, little skiving knives? 1000% no. Absolutely not.
Be way cheaper to just buy one in most of time.
And am I going to have a really nice time making them? Yes. I'm going to have a blast. Because I like learning stuff. It's fun.
Those holes are giving you problems.
You can also, knives that you've used
Yep.
and didn't work quite the way you wanted them to, you can customize something.
Right. It's becoming the exact same reason I got into leatherwork is I was 90% happy with most wallets. And that last 10% pushed me over the edge to try it out. And I've made a few knives before, just file knives. I love them.
Finally.
A friend who knits told me she could make a Doctor Who scarf every month for a year and still have yarn.
That's a heck of a scarf.
That's a heck of a
long
stockpile of
Yeah.
yarn.
Yeah. My wife always laughs at me because I'll be working on a project or I want to make a new bag or something at home. I'm like, I'll see if there's something I can pick up at work.
All right. What are you doing?
Well, I want it to come out where I want the last part of the strap to come out on top rather than,
Backwards.
rather than.
He can't even explain how it could be wrong because he only
Rather
does it
than
right.
like this.
Yeah.
Because that'll allow this to curl up. So,
Just stay right here. You have to work right here. Okay,
Where
there you
the
go.
camera is.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So, I've got to figure out if I want to start here.
This is like the zipper conundrum.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go in, come out, go in, come out, go in, come out, go in, come out. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
All right, so you feed it through, and then you come back through the slot that's in the tab here.
Yep.
Now,
Okay.
wait a minute, I think I malfunctioned myself.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if you want it, if you need it longer, then you would just start
Yeah,
this
I'd start
lower.
down first.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you skip some slots, whatever.
See, I usually don't even bother to weave the whole thing when I've put them together for folks. Just catch,
But to get it
couple.
to show, you want it to
Exactly.
Yep.
Plus, I kind of just wanted.
Yeah. Those are such a confusing piece when people buy the kits. We get a lot of calls. How the heck do I get this strap to work? And
What
it
do I
is
do?
baffling. It took me a while before I finally understood it rather than just saw it.
Because you want it to come out on top, so it pulls the flap down.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now this would be a pretty short strap. The guitar'd be way up here probably.
Yep.
So I would probably start down further and leave
Yeah.
a couple of holes blank. But that's the way it works.
Yep.
And show them the back. See it the way it loops through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with having it come out the top, it's kind of like, with your purse straps, you make sure the buckle's on the short strap
Yeah.
so that your tail isn't hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, all I've got left on mine is split the guitar end of it and then make my adjustment strap. And
Very
whatever I want to do
nice.
on the edges.
Very nice. We got 2 strippity straps now.
Strippity strap.
2 strippity straps. Sorry, the table is awkward, and we're just that's what you guys get.
I think this is a great example of how differently me and Denny approach our patterns.
I love it.
But I like them both. Both wonderful.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is our guitar strap
Yeah.
tool series. Once again, if you'd like these tooling patterns, they are on the video that we did on Wednesday. You can download them from there, and then eventually they'll be up on the website once Tony gets to that. We're still trying to figure out how to talk to the new website. It's been fun. It's going great. Technology is fabulous. Everyone loves it. We will see you next week. We will be going over antiquing, and then I believe on Friday, Denny will start his gun belts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the schedule for next week. We'll see you then.
And there again, the gun belt I'm going to tool beforehand.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
not going to watch me
Construction
tool.
only.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, guys. Have a good weekend.
Golson, sorry.